Welcome to the Detroit Lions Live post-game show presented by Curado Insurance. The final from Santa Clara, California here in Week 17. Detroit 40, San Francisco 49ers 34. This game got off to a slow start for Detroit defensively. Detroit would not get their first lead until the third quarter. But alongside Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Thanks so much for joining us. A perfect 8-0 on the road for Detroit this season. They're road warriors. You played in the league for 18 seasons. How difficult is that?
Danny, I've never put together an 8-0 road game or, on the road like these guys have. You're right. And it's hard winning on the road, especially in divisional games on the road. So kudos for the guys for being ready and taking on the elements, taking on the fans, the opposing fans, keeping to themselves and really putting in a great effort to win games on the road.
This game didn't mean a whole lot for Detroit. They could have lost this game and still been in the running to clinch that 1 seed next week against the Minnesota Vikings. But they were able to get things done here today. A lot of that offense, it came across the entire game. They didn't ever really let off the pedal in terms of offense. Defensively, they had to get it together. 2 turnovers for Detroit. That's what's going to stick out to me in these final stats. 2 picks for Kirby Joseph. That makes it 9 on the season for him.
The leader, right? He's leading the league in interception. And that's the great thing about Kirby Joseph. Again, he's a guy that can play the deep, but he's a guy that has versatile speed. He's a guy that can come up and he gets these turnovers, and they be so timely, the turnovers that he gets for us. So kudos to Kirby Joseph, and kudos to the interception leader in the NFL. That is the same person, Kirby Joseph.
Total yards between these teams almost identical. Time of possession, though, Detroit did edge out San Francisco by about 10 minutes. So that's where you're seeing the edge come from the Lions here on the road. But Jared Goff, another great game from him. 70% completion over the last 11 games for him. The Jared Goff chants, you could hear him all across the stadium once this game ended. What kind of level is he playing at right now?
Danny, I'm telling you, he has to be in the top 3 for MVP voting. I just wouldn't understand the voting if he's not in the top 3. I mean, he's been playing this way the whole year, and you could just look at the totality of this season and seeing the way Jared Goff has been playing, the way he's led this team. We're the number 1 team in the NFC, and this guy isn't getting love for MVP. That's a travesty.
Lomas Brown is trying to change that right now.
That's right.
Dan Campbell, I'm sure, is going to make his case for QB1 as well. Head coach is standing by at the podium. Let's hear from him.
They were ready to go, and they came out, they competed, and and we were able to finish that one out. And a number of guys played really good for us, played really, really well. And I thought Goff had a big game. That offensive line, Gibbs, J-Mo, Saint. Defensively, there was a number of guys. Certainly, Kirby came up big with 2 picks that were big. And anyway, it was wanted to play complimentary football. We did that, and I was really proud of the guys.
Dan, we know your mentality. You spoke about it this week about playing the guys, not resting starters. Just talk about why that was so important for you to come out and have the guys play and get this victory with the starters in rotation as well.
Yeah, look, there's nothing easy about this, and there's a number of things you got to decide, and we don't get to prepare those other guys because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen for first, second down, third down, red zone leading into the week, and so. For example, like Hooker's not getting those reps. Those are Goff's reps because we don't know. And that's just one example. And so it's not fair. I just don't believe it's fair to put in a guy who's not prepared to play, especially a young player. And then you can only sit 6 guys. So who are all those 6? Well, all right, who are the 6? And then the other guys that don't, is it fair to them that we're not using everything we've got? We flew out here. We prepared this way. We came out to win, and that's ultimately what it came to. And yeah, you do. You cross your fingers. Nobody gets hurt. I mean, it's tough. We were fortunate. We got out, and And now it's on to the next one.
Kirby, I think he had 7 picks in the first 10 games. Had been a little bit of a drought here, but just stepped up in a huge way. 2 big ones that you guys turned into 14 points. Just whenever you guys have needed a kind of a play, it seems like he's been able to step up. Just how proud are you of him? 9 picks on the year now.
Yeah, really, really proud of him. It's what we talked about. It was when we needed it the most, man, he came up big. And, we were – we've been talking about it. We knew we needed to get takeaways, and it was just another example of playing complementary football. And, man, he came up in a big way, And not just that, the picks, but, he had some critical tackles in this game and just really showed up for us. So that was big.
Kirby had those big picks, obviously, but you guys didn't force a punt. Just how do you feel overall about your defense and its readiness for the playoffs right now?
Yeah, I wanted to – for me, it's do you want to play a little bit better? Yeah, you do in areas. But we calmed some things down in the second half. AG and those guys did a good job. And we talked about, man, disruption and takeaways, and we got those. And that's the world we got to live in, So I feel good. And because I know that the most important thing is that we do complement each other. And when we need it, offense has got to show up. And defense, if we're not able to score, they got to show up. And we did that. And then we still got special teams, that we hadn't even talked about yet. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
What you said about the not resting the starters, did you get – even a little bit of a niche after the Vikings won and obviously playing the starters? How does that set you up for the Vikings this week on a short week? Does it give you any kind of benefit for momentum, anything like that?
Well, I'm probably like you guys that were all here, woke up at 2 or whatever this was this morning. And, it was on my mind. I thought a lot about it. I thought about it leading up to the game. I thought about it last night. I told the staff. But I ended up settling on the right thing to do was play these guys, and because we owed it to the team, and it was just one of those positions we were in. It's just hard to say who you're going to sit, and it's not fair to ask guys to play that haven't been prepared to play, So yeah, that was tough, and I think the biggest thing is there was things we wanted to do better than we did last week, and we did. We cleaned a lot of things up offensively. I thought defensively we talked about getting takeaways. We got takeaways, and so that'll always serve you well going into the next week. And look, there was never going to be anything we knew what this is. You're out on the West Coast, you go, man, it's all good. That's what we do. You know what I mean? This is what we do. Like, we love it hard. And this is our deal right now. So we're looking forward to this, everything about this week.
Speaking of what you do, undefeated on the road, Dan, it's so hard to win on the road in this league. To go undefeated, just how much of an accomplishment is that for you personally? Well,
it shows the type of guys we got, shows the type of players we got. And, we're a resilient group. We just are. And we're built to handle things that not everybody can do. And, you go 8-0 on the road, that means you're a pretty damn good team, and you can handle adversity. And so, I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of the coaches. It takes a village. It takes everybody. So we prepare that way, and we play that way.
Dan, we saw Panay head to the locker room a little bit earlier in the first half. Is he dealing with anything that is a long-term concern at all?
No, shouldn't be. Should be good. Thumb.
Hey, Dan, you had 11 conversions today on 3rd or 4th down. Just how were you guys so good on money downs tonight?
We felt good about the plan going into the week. And ultimately it was going to come down to the execution. So we did feel like we had a really good plan, put our guys in position, and ultimately, man, Goff played lights out today, and he's been playing like this. And just I feel like he took another step up, which is hard to believe, with where he's been playing because it is such a high level. So that, and then our playmakers showed up, man. They made plays for us. The O-line protected well. And usually that means you're going to have success.
And I know we asked you earlier this week about just coming back here at this stage playing. Even for some of the media, we was just like, it was crazy to just experience that after last year.
Hard to believe it's been almost a year, huh?
How was it to actually come out and get this victory on this stage? I know it's not going to take away the pain from last year, but just to actually get that victory on the stage.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, I mean, there's so many things that, you want to get a taste out of your mouth that's been there for a while. And so it feels good to do that. It feels good to come out here and get that win. And I tell you what, everything about this was right. You know, it just felt good. It was a great night for football, great environment. That's a good team with good coaches. And, man, they came out and they gave us what they had, man. They did. And we knew they would. So, we had to earn that win, and we did. And that got us to 14. So I'm really proud of the guys.
The Cowboys win, does this complete the Dan Campbell revenge tour?
No, it's not.
It
was good to get this one. It was good to get this one.
Does it though? Is there something more behind it for you, for the players, as far as avenging these kind of tough losses in the past?
Well, I just think that was tough, and look, we didn't earn it last year, and they did, and so to be able to, even though it's not the same as last year, to be able to come out to the scene of the crime and get it done, it does give you some satisfaction.
Dan, you mentioned it. You didn't get any help, obviously, from Green Bay yesterday. But I guess what is the message about the opportunity, the challenge that this week brings?
This is what you're in it for, man. I mean, this is ultimately it. I mean, you couldn't write a better scenario. You couldn't come up with this. The fact that both teams are sitting at 14-2, and it's for the division and the 1 seed. It just doesn't get any better than this. Like this is fairy tale stuff. And so, I mean, it speaks for itself. Our guys are excited. I told you the hardest thing was not to overlook what we were getting ready to do today. And now that it's here, we spend the next 6 hours on the plane. This is great, man. This is it's as good as it gets. And so we're looking forward to this. And it's early. We just finished the last game.
Coach, what does it mean for Jared, coming back to the Bay Area? This is a team he hasn't beaten in, I think, almost 7 years. Get the win
really?
and play so well.
That.
Yeah, and
but
play
it feels
so well.
Good, I guarantee you.
Yeah. But what is it like for him? I'm sure he had a lot of friends and family here to have that kind of performance at home, basically.
I know he had a lot of friends and family here, and so I know in that regard that meant something. There was a lot that meant, something to him. Certainly what Carlos just brought up, the fact that to be able to get a win out here and what we did last year, and then the previous history you're talking about with the Rams, and then have the family. But this is a different Jared Goff now. He's different. And this guy is developed and matured, and he's just stepping into his prime, and he just continues to get better and better. And he's playing at an ultimate level right now. I mean, you find me a quarterback that's playing better than him in this league right now. I'd love to see it.
Guy we don't get to ask about this time of year a lot, but Craig Reynolds really showed up today, both in the receiving game and the running game. Just how big of a boost is that as you kind of go out there without David in these final weeks?
It's huge. And once again, it's like that's Craig. That's what Craig does. And, Craig doesn't get hardly any reps because they go to Gibbs or David. When we had David, he gets a couple here and there. And so he goes in from the mental work of preparing, and he's always on point. He knows exactly where to line up, alignment, assignment, effort, finish. And he shows up once again for us. And that's why we trust him. We trust the heck out of him. And normally he's been a big special teams contributor for us, always has silent production. And he steps in, and you're right, man. He was a huge help for us offensively. Well, we'll see. I mean, he's doing well. I mean, he's close. He's really close. Okay. Thanks.
Being the starting quarterback for the Lions, moving out here to Detroit, what's the first thing you learned about car insurance?
Yeah, I learned it's a challenge, and I'm curious what brought you to Michigan.
We were a big part of the new reform laws that were passed in 2019, went into effect in 2021. So it gave us an opportunity to give affordable rates to people in Michigan that they've been starving for years.
Amazing. Anything else?
Yeah. Go Lions.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. For the first time in franchise history, Detroit, 14 wins on the season, led undoubtedly by QB1, Jared Goff. Over 300 passing yards today. He found 3 receivers in the end zone. He was threading the needle out there. Some of those throws looked pretty immaculate.
Oh, my God, Danny, the one he had to throw up over a linebacker and drop it in between the safety. It was just a thing of beauty, man. And like you said, but Danny, he's been doing that all year long. That's the thing about it. So we shouldn't be shocked when he make passes the way he makes it. But I tell you what, those receivers have to love Jared Goff because he puts the ball right in stride with these guys. And it's just been a thing of beauty to watch all season long.
Goff now has 70% completion rate in 11 games this season. That is the second most in a season in NFL history. You were right when you're mentioning the MVP talks with Goff.
I mean, why wouldn't he be in these talks? I mean, think about it. One hiccup when he threw the 5 interceptions, but guess what, people? We still won that game. So, again, that's been the only hiccup that Jared has had all season long. His leadership, just everything he's done for this team to have us sitting in the number 1 seed, come on, man. He has to get some consideration for that.
Goff had dropped 6 straight to the San Francisco 49ers in his career. He's got to be pretty happy. Let's hear from QB1, who's standing by at the podium.
Good.
Jared, Dan, you've had plenty of stretches in your career where you've played great ball. Dan said this is maybe the best that he's seen you play. Do you feel like you're playing at an elevated level from the...
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like we're all playing at an elevated level right now on offense. I think the last handful of weeks, even the Buffalo game we lost, we were scoring a ton of points, and we've been playing well on offense for quite some time, and I feel like I'm just part of that.
You guys are 8-0 on the road this season. I know a lot of times when asked about these achievements, you say you'll look back on them one day. But now that the regular season road schedule is done, I guess how much pride do you take in being able to achieve that?
Yeah, a ton. I answered this on the field earlier, but like the us against everybody mentality, how tight this group is, how close we are, that comes out in full force on the road, and our culture, how prideful we are and what we want to do, and then also, our fans have shown up to road games and have made a difference, made it feel like semi-home games, and that's important.
Jared, there was a lot of questions entering the game. Would Dan play the starters? Would he rest them? Just speak of the mentality of, no, I'm playing, we're going to try to get this.
Yeah.
Just that mentality.
Yeah, you put that to bed pretty early on in the week, no matter what was going to happen, that we were going to go, and I'm sure that's tough for him, but I think that's the only way we know. It is just go and find a way to win, and the team we were playing, in San Francisco, like this is what ended our season last year, and there was a lot of guys on this team that were there last year that wanted to get one back on them, even though in a lot of ways it was meaningless for them and meaningless for us, but they were prideful out there too. They were trying to beat us as well, and it was a fun game.
Jared, how many friends and family did you have here today?
A lot.
I
have no idea how many, but a lot.
What was it like to have that kind of performance? I mean, the fans are chanting your name against a team you grew up rooting for.
Yeah, pretty surreal. Again, our fans have been unbelievable all year on road games. It's truly remarkable what they've done, and it's loud on third down sometimes for the offense, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's very cool for me being home in front of my family and friends, and having an experience like that. It's cool.
JMO got to 1,000 scrimmage yards. That means you have 4 players with 1,000 scrimmage yards on the season. Nice. You're the first team to ever do that in NFL history. Wow, I'm just, cool. How fun is it to play quarterback when you've got that many guys that can make plays for you? Great example was tonight.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the 4 I'm sure is Demo, Gibbs, Saint, and JMO, right? And then like Laporta's as good as he gets at tight end, and Tim's done a hell of a job too. And like we've got a good group and a very unselfish group, which is the best part about it. And those guys just want to see each other succeed. They just want to win. But yeah, to do something like that's very cool, and we're proud of that.
Dan, we asked him about, the whole thing of playing starters, not playing starters. Now you got a short week. You got the Vikings, and he called it fairy tale stuff. He says you guys like it hard. What does a game like this do as far as setting you up for that big showdown against the Vikings?
Game like today?
Yeah.
Yeah, another W. I don't know. I mean, if there is something to be said for keeping like a winning streak going. I think you don't want to lose a game and have to kind of restart that winning streak. So I think there is something to be said for that. And certainly the Vikings are on a winning streak, and so are we now at this point, 2 or 3 games now. But yeah, I think that's what's important about winning this game. And yeah, I don't believe it's hard. I don't know what's hard about the week, but yeah, we're good.
Could it have been harder to restart if you had rested to take basically 2 weeks off and be full force, even with the rest or whatever?
2 weeks off?
Yeah, to have basically not play for a week.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know if we're able to get the bye week, we'd be pretty happy about that. So I don't know. There's give and take to it. Yeah, but there's some validity to having some time off can be bad for teams. I don't believe it'd be bad for us, but yeah, I don't know. It's pretty, there's pros and cons. The best way to answer it. I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer.
You guys had 11 conversions on 3rd or 4th down.
Nice.
What do you attribute that success to?
Detail and pass protection and our guys getting open and making plays. Yeah, I know we had a couple, 1 or 2 4th down touchdowns in the red zone and failed on one of them. But yeah, we made some plays all night. We guys got open. It was fun.
Thank you guys.
Cool. Thanks.
Kirby Joseph would be next.
Saint, great game. Is that the best catch you've ever made?
Actually, there was one better.
When? The Chicago game?
Minnesota?
No. Getting Cure Auto Insurance.
Are you for real?
Seriously. When I got here in Michigan, car insurance was the worst. But saving up to 40% by switching to Cure was my best catch.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to Cure.com to see how you can save. No drop-off for the Detroit Lions run game because of running back Jahmyr Gibbs. Yes. 163 scrimmage yards tonight. 97 of those he had already had by halftime. It doesn't matter if you're throwing him in the air, if he's running the rock on the ground. He is productive. Why is he so dynamic in this offense?
Because he's so versatile, Danny. I mean, you could play this guy anywhere. You could line him up anywhere, and you're going to get explosive plays out of Jahmyr. And I think the one thing, Danny, that a lot of people don't understand, when you move around in different positions like that, the way they move him around, you have to be a smart player to remember those plays, those formations, what you're doing on routes, what you're doing on running things. So it's just a credit to a young guy like Jahmyr, that he's able to handle all this, put the load on his shoulders, and he showed up and showed out tonight.
Gibbs hangs on to the coattail of what we consider a veteran, Amon-Ra St. Brown, in his 4th season. He has 60 receiving yards on 8 catches tonight and a touchdown. He even threw that lateral over to Jameson Williams for the 41-yard touchdown score. St. Brown, he can show up in really big ways as well for this offense.
Yes, he can. And again, I still say he is Jared Goff's security blanket. Anytime Jared seems like he goes to him early in the game, man, it pays off. And it's 3rd down, and we need it. Guess who's going to get it? Amon-Ra. Big play. We need it. Amon-Ra. Big block. We need it. Amon-Ra. The guy does everything for us. That's why Ben Johnson spreads the ball out and gives him love, because he gives the offense love when he gets the ball. You like that?
I love that.
Okay.
Another score tonight, wide receiver Jameson Williams. That was his first multi-score game of the season. One coming on the ground, one coming in the air. Williams needed 110 receiving yards to hit 1,000 on the season. He got 77. Ooh. He's inching closer. I know, and we know he's thinking about those 1,000 yards too.
Oh yeah, that's big time, Danny. Anytime running back, wide receiver, you can put up 1,000 yards in this league, the NFL. You're doing something. So I know he wants to get that 1K. We'll call it the 1K. He wants to get the 1K.
Yeah, 33 yards if my math is correct.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams, the play of the game was that lateral, 41 yards to the house. I asked him about it post-game. That his first thought was just get the first down, not get the touchdown. How the heck did that play open up?
So, speed. I mean, I'm telling you, like I told him, you seen me tell to him when he was in the hallway, he walks like he's fast, Danny. I mean, my goodness. But that speed, you can't account for speed like that. Even if you have an angle on him, he can outrun the angle. And there was some terrific downfield blocking, too, that helped him get in there.
I talked with Williams post-game. Here's what he had to say. J-Mo, for the first time in franchise history, Detroit is perfect on the road in a season. What makes this group such an elite road warrior squad?
You know, we just focus on coming out every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever day it is, and getting the job done. You know, it's the first time. Hopefully it's not the last time. Hopefully we can do it again next year and the year after that and the year after that. So I just say, teams who when we come to y'all stadium, be prepared, because we ain't playing.
Hopefully this team doesn't have to go back on the road for a minute here, including playoffs. Sure. But going back to this game, 2 touchdowns for you tonight, including 141 touchdown score off a lateral from Amon-Ra St. Brown. When you hear that play call coming, what did your mind go to?
I ain't even gonna lie to you. The greatest. I'm on the left side, so I check out the sticks. It's third down. I just check out the sticks. I'm really just trying to get the first down. This is probably the first time I ever, first down, just get the first down, not touchdown. I was thinking first down. But once I bent the corner, once he tossed it to me, once I bent the corner, I already knew. Once I seen him take the wrong angle, I just knew I ain't getting caught.
For the first time ever in NFL history, Detroit has 4 playmakers with 1,000-plus scrimmage yards. You're one of them. Yeah. What does this offense do so well to elevate its playmakers?
That's big, man. That's big. Shout out to the mastermind, Ben. He behind all this, man. He spends so much time in his office. I talk to him all the time, and he just let me know what he see all the time, you know. And he just try to spread the ball out as much as possible. And he did that. You know, you just said we got 4,000-yard players on this offense, and that's almost all our skill position. That's probably, what's that, 2 receivers, 1 running back, 2 running backs, and we without a running back. So, you know, we probably get our tight end in there next week or something like. But that's all huge shout out to Ben, man. I respect the work he do and everything, all the work he put in, all the time he put in, all the coaches, not just Ben. You know, I respect all the time they put into this. And, you know, it's just big, and they help us a lot.
Your team didn't have to win this game tonight in order to get a 1 seed next week against Minnesota. Okay, what message did this team send tonight?
You know, this game is over. We focus on next week now. Happy New Year, though.
Thanks, J-Mo. Congrats.
No problem. Thank you.
Second half defense for Detroit was the difference maker in this one. 4 QB hits, 2 sacks, and 2 interceptions from the INT King, Kirby Joseph. 9 on the season. That is the most a Detroit Lion has had in over 40 years, Lomas. And he got 2 this game in the second half.
Yeah, I think he matched one of my teammates, Willie Clay, and he played with me back in the day. So, again, Kirby's just been a ball hawk all year long, so it's nothing surprising about what he's doing. And then in terms of the second half, the thing that I seen that Aaron Glenn did was he started sending a lot more pressure. They started disguising the pressure that they were sending, but he started sending a lot more pressure. He sent guys from the outside. Fatu Melifamu came on the blitz. Brian Branch was coming on blitzes. So, again, that's what Aaron Glenn did. That was a great adjustment that he made at halftime, and you can see it when those guys came back on the field for the second half of play.
And Kirby Joseph is our player of the game for those 2 INTs. He also racked up 6 total tackles on the day. Him and Brian Branch are always a great tandem. But he had to help his buddy Branch out a few times tonight.
He did. But Danny, he always does. Remember the last game, Brian got a penalty or something happened with Brian, and the next play, Kirby Joseph got the interception. Again, he had a penalty, unsportsmanlike the night. Again, the next play, very next play, Kirby Joseph making the big play. So you're right, 31-32, they got each other's back and stuff. And somebody else got our back, too.
Anything, TJ? Are you done? Bye. We're not on camera or anything. Next week, Week 18, is for all the marbles in the NFC North and the 1 seed in the NFC. Detroit hosting Minnesota Vikings. That means one of these teams with 14 wins is going to be a 5 seed in the NFC, and that hurts my heart to think about.
Danny, I'm going to tell you, the thing that hurts me about this year is the best year we're having in franchise history. Why is everybody else having great years? Why do they have to have great years when we're having our great year? That's the thing that kind of hurts me. And you're right, man. That's going to be a big blow for whoever loses that game, which we know Minnesota's going to lose. But that's going to be a big blow to be a 14-3, 14-4 team and have to go on the road. Yeah. That's going to be tough to do. We don't want to be that team that have to do that, so we're going to take care of our business next week.
There are a few superstars on the Vikings team, including the likes of Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. You saw some playmakers here in San Francisco get freed up frequently in this offense. How does Detroit limit that?
I know, and don't forget TJ Hawkinson. Yep. TJ's going to come back, so you know he wants a little revenge. Danny, I think the thing we're going to have to do is Aaron Glenn. I don't think we're going to be able to wait to the second half of that game to generate pressure on him. I think we're going to have to come out first play on the defensive side of the ball and light this guy up. I think you have to get him thinking. I think you have to show him different looks early in the game to get him a little rattled. Then you can have some success against him. But if you let him sit back there and get confident, it could be a long day.
They're going to have to rattle quarterback Sam Darnold, who is playing pretty dang lights out here right now, too. Final takeaways from this game where you saw 4 playmakers on Detroit's offense reach 1,000-plus scrimmage yards in a season. NFL has never seen that before.
No, Danny, it's been a magical year. Every time me and you talk and you bring up a record, it's either an NFL record or a franchise record that this team is breaking and that these individuals are breaking this year. It's been a magical ride for us so far this year. We still have one more to go, but it's been so great this year. We deserved it. The fans of Detroit deserve it. So we're going to give them a show. We got one more show to give these guys. Then we get ready for the big dance. So hopefully we can get some guys healthy, get some guys back, and that'll really help us as we get ready to march into the playoffs.
It was a big show here in Santa Clara, California for Week 17. For the first time since 1937, 10 TDs, no punts. What in the heck is going on? Detroit is going to take a long plane ride home back to the Motor City with a big W, 14 wins on the season. Perfect on the road.
Ride too.
Very happy plane ride.
Plane ride this time. From out of here.
Let's go get on the plane. For Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Thanks so much for tuning in. We cannot wait to see you guys next week back between Detroit and the Minnesota Vikings. We'll see you there.